Hey everybody, Arturo Johnson here, and welcome to another episode of the Brand Blueprint. And we got my man, the myth, the legend, Peter Vander here, and he's going to be showing you how to build a 7-figure brand in the financial services business. Peter, my man, welcome to the Brand Blueprint. It's great to have you.
Thank you, man. It's good to be here.
For sure.
I think you way oversold me in that intro, but I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah, let's dive right into it. So one of the things that I love about the industry for financial services and on the online spaces, I'm just a big student. So a lot of times I invite people on just because I'm curious to learn, and you don't know what you don't know. And then also this is a good way to just kind of connect with people as I'm about to be moving into your neck of the woods. So yeah, man, take me back. How did you even get started in this online space in the first place?
Yeah. So, man, the way I got started, I was running like a freelance videography business doing, just everything, right? I was shooting weddings. I would shoot corporate projects. I shot like an evangelism training series for like a local nonprofit, like the whole gambit. And I was just like, man, this is not sustainable. I'm like running 1,000,000 miles an hour, really hustling to even hit like 10K a month. And having to spend most of that back into the business to keep the ball rolling. Right.
Right.
And so I ended up kind of pivoting to, at the beginning, it was an agency model, where I just had one client reach out. He was a guy I had actually met back in college. He was just about to leave his Big Four accounting job, big corporate, and start his own accounting firm. And so he reached out. He was like, "Hey man, I want to do some social media content. I want to do a podcast. Like, is that something you can help me with?" And, lo and behold, now, scaled an agency up to about 10 clients at its peak, downsized the agency a little bit in the past year, and now have moved into kind of the coaching consulting world.
Yeah. Awesome. And so, in regards to like just being online and the branding, what are some observations that you've seen for financial services specifically? Some areas, some problems that they're having, some challenges that they're facing that they may not realize, right? It's because it's a typical, right, friends and family relying on referrals, right? Like going to these networking events. What are some things that you've observed that, or some challenges that most people don't realize that they have in this space?
I think most, and this is my complaint with most wannabe content creators, not just limited to financial services. Most wannabe content creators, they just assume that people are going to be interested in what they have to say and interested in their content, right?
Right.
And so they'll just start posting stuff where they're talking the same as they would talk to one of their colleagues, right? You're using industry jargon. You're using, you're talking about certain investment accounts or certain insurance products or certain accounting techniques. And it's like, man, like, does your client really want to understand all that? Or do they want you to just like be able to handle it for them?
Right.
Because if you're educating on all this stuff, you're going to get people who think they know it all. They think they're super smart. And I think, I think most people in this kind of industry can resonate with this. A lot of times those are the most difficult clients to work with. Because they want 1,000,000 touch points, right? Versus the person who's just like, man, just like take care of it for me. Let me know what you need from me. But I don't want to hear from you unless like you need something from me specifically. Like those are the good clients, man. And they don't care about you educating them. They care about what's the problem you're going to solve for me. And so kind of shifting your message around that, I think would be a huge, huge benefit for a lot of people who are trying to create content in this space.
Yeah. I think one of the things that I've noticed is that like the financial services industry is just always like one generation behind, right? Like we're in the AI age, right? Yeah, we're in the AI age, right? Which is things are moving faster and faster. And the social media age and personal branding thing was like the last generation, and we're talking about things from the last generation, right? Bless you. And so one of the challenges that insurance agents or financial advisors have is like they got their existing book, right, and they're just kind of hovering around the same type of revenue, maybe 10% lower or 10% better. And they're what's the word I'm looking for? They're just really honing in to just having that book of business and nurturing it and trying to find new business in there. And I found it's like, you can cut out the middle person and use social media as your word of mouth or your referral system, which is the algorithm, right? So if there's 8 billion people on the planet, there's 2 billion active users on social media daily, then that means a quarter of the human race is on social media. So the easiest way is not to try to find more customers because they're already there. You just need to make yourself findable by creating content. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the first step is like just start doing it, right? People talk about like just make 100 videos and don't worry about like, don't try to, get all nitty gritty on the quality. Like just get out there, you'll learn from the reps. And I agree with that. I think the thing that they don't say is like you need to be constantly iterating throughout those 100 videos. So if you're committing, when I first started my personal brand, I was like, I'm committing to 90 days of posting every single day. And you know how many viral videos I got? I got 0. But I started growing a following, very small following. Even now, like 2 years in, I'm just about to hit 10,000 followers, right? So it's kind of a micro audience, you might say. But like as you're doing this initial kind of starting out phase, like I think the goal is iteration. The goal is not a particular result. The goal is like, am I getting better every single post? Am I getting better every single week? Kind of that like 1% better. I think from is it Atomic Habits, James Clear?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of the mindset you need going in, because a lot of people get into it and they're like, I'm not seeing results, and they just like give up. And it's like, dude, you suck at this. Like you've made 10 videos. Like why would you expect you're going to be getting world-class results?
Right.
Their expectations are just way off from reality. And so I always like to throw that in there, because like a lot of us in the social media space who are trying to, help people get started.
Right.
A lot of times we kind of forget to tell them like, hey, like right now, you know nothing about this. For the first year of doing this, you're probably going to suck. And that's okay.
And that's okay. Right. It's expected. Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, but talk to me about the person that's afraid to like press the record button. Like, when you first got started, did you ever have that worry about how you're going to show up on camera, or what your friends and family from high school, or your close circle was going to say about you starting to talk about these things and starting to show up on social media? I feel like that's a big thing that holds most people back, is just pressing record and then pressing the publish button on social media.
Yeah, I'm one of those people who's always had a lot of FU energy. I don't think a ton about what other people are going to think, except for maybe like that small handful of people in like my inner circle. And I'm careful to curate the people around me to be people who lift me up and build me up, and aren't going to like make fun of me for starting out on social. I think the bigger thing for me though was just like a general sense of imposter syndrome. Like I'm creating content that theoretically like people are supposed to watch and listen to and get value from. At the time when I was first starting this, I was a 20-year-old college dropout with like 2 clients in my agency, and like why would anybody listen to me?
Right.
And so that was kind of the bigger sense, I guess, starting out, that I had to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt the same way. I'm very ambitious and highly delusional. It's like once I get my mind fixated on something. What'd you say?
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, all I need is one reason to get excited about something, and one fact that it's going to work, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I know all I need to know. It's like, don't spare me with the details, or we got to go up and down. Like, this is like, where are we going? Where's the waterfall? Okay, cool. Let's go. Count me in. And so with that, I felt like that empowered me to not worry about making mistakes. Of course, it's going to stink. And, we're usually our harshest critics. So then why do we care about what anybody else says? Because it's probably not going to be as harsh as what we say to ourselves. So with that, then it is having that FU energy, which is like, who cares, right? If you want to stay part of the mediocre mini, continue to do what you're doing. But if you want to be a part of the fantastic few, this is what's required, which is putting yourself out there, stepping out from the pack, looking back and saying, hey, here's what I've learned. that's one step ahead of you, and I want to just share it with you all, right? It's kind of like talking to that younger self.
Yeah, and to that point, like the beauty of social media is when you're bad at it, it does like the algorithm doesn't show you to anybody.
Right.
And
Nobody's
so
gonna know.
you like fail in private and people only find out about you once you actually get good.
Right. For sure. Awesome. Yeah. Well, so let's talk about impact though, because I think for financial service professionals, or anybody in general, when you start doing something and you don't get immediate results, and we live in a microwave society that, delayed gratification isn't something that's really being served up, but that's what it takes in entrepreneurship. People see you today with 10,000 followers, but they don't see all the days that you just created content, the hours putting in, scripting out stuff and doing that. And they see a finished product.
Mhm.
Right. And so the benefits of what we do compounds, and it just takes time. Again, you reap the reward of making the $10,000 a month or whatever it is, but it's the work that you put in that led up to that. So I'm curious on what work you put in your business and what impact, building a personal brand has had directly on your business.
Man, it's had all the impact in the world and yet no impact at all. And the reason I say that is like like I said, I'm coming up on like that big like 10K follower milestone.
Mm-hmm.
In total, I think I've made, hold on, let me do the math. I've made a total of like $18,000 directly from the social content. And by that, I mean like client finds me just like scrolling their feed. They find my content. They like it. They realize, oh, like this dude has a content agency, or at the time, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
They reach out and they go, hey, like, I'm interested in working with you to create some content. That's out of, multiple six figures made in the past 12 months. So, what it has done for me though, is when people find me, whether that's, they're referred to me by one of my current clients or by somebody who knows me, whether that's they see one of my ads and they're like, I want to check this guy out and make sure he's legit before I book a call. I find that like social media for me is usually not that like first level of connection where they find me through social, but it's like this validation mechanism. It's like they find me through ads or through referrals or whatever. And then they're like, okay, like I want to see if this guy's legit before I reach out to him. They see my Instagram, they see my content is, pretty good. They see what I do in my bio. They see what I'm doing day to day on my stories, and like that I'm a real person with real interests that they can connect with. And so it just kind of like, in my mind, it's way more middle of funnel where like people are seeing this and building a sense of know, like, and trust, but they're not initially finding me through this, at least not for the most part.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So let's talk about that. So based off of what you just said, where is the majority of your client signups coming from? And kind of what's the journey that your clients are walking through?
100% of my clients today find me through paid ads. So I'm running a pretty honestly a pretty simple funnel right now. It's a direct response funnel. If you're familiar, it's a VSL funnel is like the specific type of funnel. But basically I'm running Facebook and Instagram ads, sending people to a landing page where they can watch a free training that I've got. At the end of the free training, it's like, hey, would you like to book a call? Link down below. And then they're able to book a call through that. Now there's a million other things going on in the back end. There's some email sequencing. There's some automations like that. And there's additional steps you can go like on top of what I'm doing currently. But like right now, this is working pretty well for me. It's what I build for all of our done for you agency clients as well. And if you've got a really clear definition of like what your offer is, and you're just trying to like get volume of leads to come and book calls for this offer, this system like absolutely crushes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I've probably been running some form of a VSL for about like 5 years now, and it always does crush. And I was kind of like anti-organic really, because I came through Sam Oven, so it was just like, you get your first 3 clients organically doing that, and then once you prove your proof of concept, it's like, all right, let's throw into paid ads. So I've always just been a paid ads guy, but I like a blend of some social funnel and some VSL stuff because it just keeps my pipeline with full of leads that maybe need to be nurtured, but it also gives me some triples, some doubles, and some home runs, right?
Yeah.
From some stuff from the social funnel for me personally. So you did mention, you know, middle of funnel, top of funnel. And so I guess can you break that down for our audience what you mean by that? And we can start there.
Yeah. So I mean, picture a funnel shape, right? And this is what we call a marketing funnel, right? So whenever anybody in our industry is like referring to a marketing funnel, basically what they're talking about is like some system by which you take a lot of people who either don't know you at all or maybe like know a little bit about you, and you're just like narrowing that audience down until it gets only to people who are like qualified to work with you, they have the money, they want to work with you, they know a ton about you, and boom, now they're ready to buy. Um, so like you referenced the social funnel. I was running the social funnel for a little while last year and it did pretty all right for me. Um, when I talk about the VSL funnel, that's another type of funnel. So there's a bunch of different types of funnels and like honestly a million different configurations and ways you can put this together. But what all of them hold in common is at the top they've got some way of getting in front of strangers and getting them to know you a little bit. In the middle, they've got some way of like narrowing these people down and getting a select few of them to like know, like, and trust you. And then at the bottom, some way of turning those people from like your audience, let's call it, into leads or customers.
Right. So then what happens in the middle of that when somebody clicks on your opt-in, they opt in,
Mm-hmm.
right? They watch
Mm-hmm.
the VSL. What if they don't necessarily book? Like what's happening in between there between the time they watch the VSL and actually schedule an appointment? What's happening there?
Yeah. So what you're referring to, so they opt in, they fill out a contact form, and that's basically, hey, give me access to this free training. That's my VSL.
Yes.
And so when they opt in, they automatically get subscribed to an email sequence. And that email sequence is automatically terminated as soon as they book a call. So mine right now, it's a 5-day email sequence, which is like a little bit short, but I mean, honestly, it's doing well. So I'm like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
And you know, basically the goal is to just like retarget these people through email and get them to book a call. So there's different ways you can do that. You know, some of them send like client case studies and testimonials. Some of them send like valuable YouTube videos or podcasts that I've released. Some of them send just like written content right there in the email. You know, hey, if you're trying to do XYZ, here's how you do it. One of them is like a story pitch, which is like a really fun, unique kind of thing that like not a lot of people do. But you know, the general idea is like, hey, let's take like a bunch of different types of people or a bunch of different ways that different types of people could connect with my message, kind of take the same message and package it like 5 or 6 different ways. And each of those is in an email. So like some people aren't going to click on a link in an email to go watch a podcast that I did with one of my past clients. But if I send them an email with a screenshot of a client testimonial and explaining the client story, they'll happily read through that in, you know, the 5 minutes while they're sitting down eating breakfast. Some people are really going to want that like 30 to 40 minute long, like super valuable YouTube video or podcast that they can sit down and listen to and like really get to know what I'm offering and like how I help people. Other people are like, I don't want to do that. That's too much friction for me. I just want to know if this guy's legit. And so like a little quick short email on how to solve XYZ problem is going to be way more valuable for them. So
Gotcha.
that's really, and that's, by the way, that's just one of the pieces of middle of funnel. There's also, I mean, we could talk about content. We could talk about retargeting ads.
Yeah.
But there's different components there too.
Yeah. Let's talk about content. Like what's your view on the importance of having content, how it plays a role in nurturing people, and what ultimately, you know, from now looking at this thing as a whole for, you know, 2+ years doing this, like where content plays a piece in getting people to book calls, ultimately to know, like, and trust you, and then ultimately to become a client.
I mean, there's no downside to posting content, right? Like worst case is you just don't get anything from it and you like wasted a little bit of your time that you put into it. Best case is people see your ads, they see your content all on the same social platform. And so they're just getting like bam, 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 just reinforced every single day. And it just like way accelerates the like the buying cycle. and way accelerates even before the buying cycle, like the process of them getting to trust you, because that's so huge, right? So provided your content and your ads, like, I mean, like it's gotta both of them have to be you, right? So that they actually recognize your face. I see people sometimes doing the thing where they like hire like an actor to be in their ads for them. And that's like, it's a very advanced strategy that doesn't work unless you're really trying to scale hard. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, your content and your ads, they're on the same platforms, right? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, if you're into that. And it's just kind of like they're just feeding each other and building each other up.
Gotcha. Okay. So as we kind of coming to a conclusion, this one, if you were to start all over again and you were trying to get to, let's say, 10K a month fast as possible, like knowing what you know now, like what would you do starting all over?
Starting all over, man, I would create a stupid simple offer. Something that's just like, it would literally be like, we're going to edit and post your videos for you. We're going to, you know, create certain graphics for you. Or honestly, one offer I really like is like a go high level build out. I think that as a one-time, like kind of catch and release offer, with maybe selling a recurring like small subscription on the back end, I think that's a really cool offer. But the idea here is like, it needs to be crazy simple. And you just do this for, like, you know, let's say you charge 2K for it. You need to do this for 5 clients a month. Honestly, the way I would find them is I'd probably create a social media profile with like 10 good pieces of content on there, but not posting consistently just yet, because I'm just starting out. And then I'd do a mixture of outreach and paid ads to get clients. Probably just like simple messenger ads to get clients.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you say that, because it's always like, I'm going to do this for them. And I feel like with me having this experience, people have perfected the art of the marketing and not the art of like actually being good at delivering the results to their clients. And I'm like, dude, the marketing is supposed to be an amplifier, right? It's supposed to precede you, not exceed you. And what's happening is people getting caught in imposter syndrome. And it's because you're repeating something someone else says, but you can't back it up. When you actually do get a client, of course, you're going to have imposter syndrome. So I guess the last piece is, what do you feel about the value part, which is like actually be good at something, get a skill, actually perfect it. That way, when you do promise someone something, that you can actually deliver on it, because that's what's the most important part.
Yeah. Well, this is why I started with talking about what my offer would be, right? It would be something stupid simple, because that means it's really easy for me to fulfill on and really easy to make sure I do a good job fulfilling on it. If it's super complicated, then yeah, it makes a lot of sense that you'd have a lot of fulfillment issues, right? Because marketing is honestly like not that hard once you understand the core tenets. Like, honestly, guys, and I say this as somebody who charges, you know, anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 for marketing funnel build outs. Like, it's not that hard once you like actually understand kind of, you know, the basics. Delivering a really good product or service, that's the really hard thing. And so, yeah, I think I heard Alex Hormozy talking about this on one of his podcasts a while back, but he was just talking about how like, if you can, when you're selling to a prospect, if you can just set like perfect expectations, not even like set expectations, you know, kind of like what's the phrase? It's like, set low expectations and then under promise, over deliver. That's what I was looking for. So under promise, over deliver. If you can just like promise and deliver, not even under promise, over deliver, just like promise and deliver, you're going to stand out from like 90% of people, right?
Dude, that's so funny that you said that, because I talk about that all the time. It's like, if like in this business, I just wish somebody would do what they said they were going to do. Like, if you just do that, like, you're going to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Right. Because the claims are just getting bigger and bigger. And it's like, okay, now it's time. Like, you said you're going to do all this. I just want you to do this. And you can't even do that. So, yeah, you know, just actually, you know, be good at something. So, yeah, that's awesome. That's so funny. It's just like deliver, right? Just like get somebody results, actually like have a system in place, a process, and not just like a marketing script, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, this has definitely been great. If somebody's watching this and they're like, man, I like Peter's story and I want to check him out a little bit more, what's the best way for people to follow you?
Best place is my podcast on YouTube and Spotify. I mean, anywhere you listen to podcasts, but it's just the Peter Vander Show. That's kind of my main avenue that I'm focused on right now. Everything else in terms of social is kind of secondary to that. So I guess Instagram, if you like the short form stuff, the clips, but yeah, YouTube and Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts.
For sure. Well, Peter, man, thanks so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for hopping on the Brand Blueprint, brother.
Dude, appreciate you, Arturo.
For sure.